managing MCAS and EDS with the low histamine diet. Let's dispel the myths. So a lot of folks with EDS also have MCAS and POTS. And there's two things going on. MCAS, you have hyperreactivity, a very low threshold for histamine and folic acid. So cooked foods, anything fermented. What usually I hear the most is painful hiccups and extreme cramping, stomach pains, and nausea, vomiting, things like that. With EDS, you have dysmotility, you can't process the food, gastroparesis. So those are separate from what I'm talking about today. Today, we're going to talk about treating MCAS as a preventative way to mitigate your symptoms with a person with EDS, POTS, and MCAS. We have an incredible resource made by the Swiss Scientific Research Institute that listed every possible food, beverage, processing chemical on a scale from 0 to 3 on a histamine rating scale. That is going to be your survival guide. So check that out below on our Substack. It's our MCAS free resource guide. Now, let's talk about this. A lot of health foods have high histamine. So it's a trap, right? You want to avoid folic acid, which is in everything. It's enriched flour, almost every cereal, almost every bread, they all have folic acid. And a lot of health foods that have no folic acid are crazy high in histamine. One of the best examples is those Factor meal plans because they're pre-cooked. 1 to 2 hour window with food before it skyrockets histamine content. And a lot of you out there probably already have a very low histamine, low folic acid diet already, just because it gives you painful hiccups, it gives you stomach cramps. And you might notice this from early on in childhood, and you may have been misdiagnosed with constipation or anxiety and things like this because you see it a lot in children. And one of the best examples ever is my partner Clover. When she was a child, her mom would make her eat boiled carrots and she would refuse because they'd make her feel so sick. And her mom would be like, "Oh, you're just picky." But she would just be like, "I'll eat the carrots, but you can't boil them till they're soft." Because guess what? Boiled carrots have crazy high histamine. Once they're soft, the histamine is huge content. But if they're not, they're still crunchy, they have low histamine. So I'm sure this makes sense. Quick disclaimer. I'm not saying this is going to cure anyone. This is going to help anyone. It's not going to fix anything. This is a preventative way to mitigate symptoms. Now, a lot of folks out there just have MCAS without the EDS and stuff. And I've heard many personal accounts of people telling me once they figured out this low histamine, no histamine diet, they were cured. It's very annoying and it's so frustrating because so many people will say this kind of stuff to Clover. "Oh, I just had to make the right smoothies or fix my diet and then all of my symptoms were cured." But when someone like Clover, who was underdiagnosed until 30, has developed secondary POTS, secondary cranial cervical instability, secondary intracranial hypertension. So keep that in mind. Other folks out there with EDS have developed these really severe, completely life-altering, disabling conditions. Those kind of comments can be, and tips and guidance can be hurtful. So let's look at this a little bit more granularly. Mast cell activation is very real. It is a system-wide response. It's histamine. Your mast cells are part of your immune response. And when they activate and degranulate, it can have horrible responses in your body. You can have hives, cramps, stomach pain, flushing, heat, brain fog. I mean, so many brutal things can happen. You're real, you're valid, and these things can affect you in a huge way. So histamine exists in food, naturally occurring. It also naturally occurs in your body and is released by mast cells. And we need it to function, but what happens is it's our ability to process it. So with MCAS, think about it like this. Your body is like a bucket, right? And all these different things create histamine, stress, allergies. It could be the food you're eating. And you have a processing ability and your body can empty that bucket out, right? But if you have MCAS, it can be smaller or you can't empty it out fast enough. It overflows and builds up and causes this system-wide chaos. And the MCAS disintegrates your body. It literally wears down your bones. It leads to developing secondary diseases. It's insane what it does to you. So the goal is to mitigate that overflowing effect, mitigate your inability to process folic acid and histamine. So you want to really avoid your histamine intake. And this also includes stress. You need help from your friends and family and your community. People need to help protect your bubble to keep your stress down, because stress is a big factor in releasing histamine as well. It's not just food. You need loved ones to help protect your bubble. So let's talk about some practical solutions. Number one, the golden rule with the low histamine diet is freshness. Eggs, like Clover can't eat eggs, we thought, but it turns out they just need to be really fresh. In fact, when I first met Clover, it was so crummy of me, but I was always just like, why can't you eat any leftovers? That sucks. Or poor. But she literally can't eat them because they're full of histamine and they cause her horrible pain. So processed foods, alcohol, kimchi, fermented cheeses, yogurts, avocados are really bad. A lot of foods are really high in histamine. You can get a blanched almond flour at Costco instead of using bleached white flour because it has folic acid. Hit it hard with the veggies. Try to get fresh veggies, fresh chicken and beef. I started cooking dinners every night, and we go to Costco and get bulk beef, bulk chicken, bulk veggies. And I just cook a quick meal every night because you just got to have fresh veggies, some fruits and proteins. If you're going to survive with MCAS, it's the only way. And lastly, I'll just say this. I have heard so many incredible stories. So many people have reached out. A lot of folks with the low histamine diet and the no folic acid diet, they do a lot better. They have a better quality of life. They function a little bit better. Folks that have really advanced conditions like the pentad patient, it's about preventative, but you still improve quality of life. It doesn't cure anything, but this can really help. Maybe you have a child that has MCAS. Understanding this stuff and being able to get them this good diet and avoiding these things that are causing them this horrible pain can help prevent their bones from getting wore away by a constant level of too much histamine in their body, and can prevent them from developing secondary diseases like POTS or CCI. So keep an eye on it. If you have a child that like maybe is super extra picky or difficult, maybe they have MCAS, because a lot of people are developing this due to, and it's called acquired MCAS, exposure to environmental toxins leads to hypersensitization, and then you develop this MCAS. Patient-reported symptoms are the golden rule. So we got to make sure to listen to people and believe them, and that goes for everyone. And if you're someone who's suffering from this, I just want to say, it sucks when people dismiss your symptoms and your pain, and maybe people just don't understand how bad it is, but I know how bad it is. I understand it's brutal. And I just want you to know I see you, I believe you, and I believe in you.